Now we should be on.
Was born. The amount of warmth and overwhelming love I felt was bar none. We as dads aren't always seen. So this is a global shout to all dads, dynamic astronomical dudes. Being a parent is a privilege that we sometimes take for granted. What's up, Dad?
Our first connection. For 9 months after that, we too crave confections. Watching you grow was a real reflection on the love that we would give from our heart's collection. Gonna teach you lessons, give good impressions. We'll always keep you close so you won't have to be down. Anticipation and excitement now part of the game. So how real is it gonna be just to speak your name? We're bursting at the seams, we can't wait to meet you. We thought of every way on how to possibly greet you. Your arrival complete, now we're watching you learn. We love the look on your face as we see the wheels turn. This is so real. Quite tremendous. Sometimes I get sad when I know life will end this cause I miss you. That's the name of a man until I have to the
Hey, what's up? Welcome to Dadchop, where we chop it up, dad style. Welcome to the Dad Lab, where we will be the dynamic astronomical dudes we are. So it appears that I'm running a little late, based on the fact that I attempted to start my stream, get it everybody and say greetings and welcome and hello and all the good stuff. And it was a request. So the request was just sitting there, but nothing was actually happening through the request. So once I got that straightened out, that is now where we are at. All right. So, welcome to Dadchop. This is where format we can just chill and chat it up as dads, parents, period. Whoever wishes to attend may attend because we all have great parental advice and we were brought up under the pretense that it took a village to raise us. So that being the case, we must be the village and we can do that together. Plus it's always good to just have some banter. Like I like to talk about football as the upcoming season approaches. Need I say more? Laugh if you may, but you may not question my loyalty. Win or lose, I am with the boys. So, everything is going good thus far. My daughter just got back from her trip to AZ, to a college companion that she wanted to go see, and hung out there, and that was actually cool. You know, she took a trip, and I guess her boyfriend picked her up from the airport today and brought her home, bring her some flowers, lunch, coffee, and some gifts from his trip. I'm like, oh, you go, dude. So, he made it happen. That was pretty awesome. So, it's crazy watching these kids grow. Hey, what's up, Mr. B? All right, good to see you, man. Go Niners, he says. So I'm there. I'm there for that. I'm there for NFL football. Period. When it comes to football, I'm pretty much just a fan. In general, I have my team, of course, being Dallas, right? Gross, right? Some people laugh, think this is a comedy club. I'm like, no, they're actually in the NFL. They do play football, but that's great. Football is like one of my favorite sports aside from the NBA. And NBA, I don't really follow all season. There's just too many games to watch, but I do watch enough of them to get an assessment of who I feel is going to go and all that good stuff. And then that way when we get to the playoffs and people are doing their thing, it's kind of nice because I'm in that going, oh, all right, cool, some of these guys were my picks. So it works. Just kind of follow the game. Pluralized. no specific team, because where I live at, we don't have any professional football or other teams. So it's kind of like, you know, yeah. It's like, me too, right? I'm trying to tell you, man, it's the way it is, right? With regard to football. So, and basketball, sorry. So I was just tripping because what I was really thinking about was the fact that my daughter has grown to this 20-year-old awesome human being, and she's just kind of out here doing her. You know what I'm saying? She's like just doing what she's gonna do, and it's funny because she's always been kind of like self-sufficient. That's like just who she is. But she's funny in the aspect that like she decided like she could take trips. Like she wouldn't even get on the highway when she first got her driver's license. You know what I mean? That was great. That was cute. Always side streets. If there's a way to map to get to it, that's how she's gonna go. And so she played it safe until she was comfortable on the freeway, which works out, you know? So with that being said, she decided that she wanted to do the dorm life. So she's ready to move into the dorms over at school, and I'm like, I have to cut the umbilical cord because I've been the one that's been here as the stay-at-home parent since she was 3. And she's, you know, now 20, and my son is 15, and then I have 2 older babies. But man, it's so crazy to watch them all grow up and all kind of do their own thing. And you know, my eldest has 2 children. I'm a grandpa. Let's see. My oldest son, I think he just has a fiance, and I say I think because we haven't spoken in a little while. Like there's still some little bit of animosity, I think, from his youth, etc., toward me, and that's cool. Like I say, a lot of times you just gotta ride the wave. So I'm a wave riding dude. Sometimes it's just easier that way. Let's see. I guess that's it. Like, I mean, I guess you figure a 15-year-old, and he's GTAing it up and making money doing that. I'm like, that's crazy. Selling virtual cars. Like, I couldn't even imagine being able to sell virtual cars when I was coming up. If we could have done that, boy, an empire for real. we were like, you know, if you played any kind of computer game, you were usually deemed a nerd, you know. So a lot of people didn't want that stigma. I didn't care. I played when I could. I pretty much sucked at all those games at that point. My ColecoVision, I guess I was okay at, and my Atari. I think everybody was cool on Atari. It was pretty much dots and bleeps, but that was a fun period. And now today the kids have everything, you know what I'm saying? They get it all. Everything's out here for them, you know? I remember when my mom and dad, or my, you know, grandparents, that was Google for me. You know, go to grandpa, go to mom, go to an adult, let me Google them. Now it's like, nope, I don't need you. You're not a parent. I'm gonna do my thing. Right? And the gaming is cool. I didn't even realize. Oh, B says that his 14-year-old is big into games. My response is according to that. Yeah, I thought that, you know, he was just in there hanging out and doing stuff, and we had purchased him some engine building games, so like he's got to go out and like he goes to the junkyard, he gets the body of the car, and then he comes back and he has to build the engine, but he's got to put the whole thing together, you know. Do I have any rules for my gaming kid? Well, I'll explain. Initially, yes. It was like, you know, you gotta get off and you gotta do this. But now this dude that generated about a G selling cars that he's building, I'm like, you know what? Enjoy. Like, it's the summer. you know, your eyes could hang down to here if you like. I mean, he's generating his own money, so he kind of created his own summer job out of playing the game. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of ingenious. Pardon me. This was a little dry. Sorry. Yeah, I was like, wow, like, and that's what I'm kind of getting at. We bought him the games where he could build the cars, and so he took all that knowledge and intuition and put that into whatever he's doing over here, and I'm just like, wow. So, I mean, I try to enforce him, but it's like crazy because at 15, and I think thanks to the fact that when they hit high school, they kind of start really pushing us out as parents, right? So then it becomes this responsibility of your child to take care of their attendance and their late assignments and such. So like they inform me, as a parent that my kid is doing or not doing the things he needs to be doing. And then I get on him and say, hey, dude, I need you to, fix that. And I need you to get that done. And then it's his responsibility, right? So I think because the school has kind of pushed us out a little way, you know what I'm saying? Just in trying to get these guys to grow up. They think they're a little more grown than they are. And so rules are freaking ridiculous for me to enforce. I mean, not that they're stupid and shouldn't be enforced, but he just doesn't listen. He's just a hard-headed male dude. And I can't, like I said, I'm not been upset about it over the summer just based on the fact that he's generating revenue. He's making money where he can he's buying his own, he's had Uber Eats a couple times on himself, just doing that. No, I guess I just really don't. I did, like I said early on, about 13, 14, when he was just doing like Minecraft and stuff like that, it was like, okay, you gotta log off, you gotta go to bed, you're done. The day's over. But it's almost like he's this like young adult male now doing his thing. And I see his little mustache and just the differences in the dude, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of making me feel like, okay, like, cool, he's growing up, so, he knows when he's tired. But of course, now that we're getting ready to get back into the swing of school, I'm going to have no choice but to enforce, a curfew and make sure he's off and ready to at least be alert and awake in class. Because last year, his freshman year of school after COVID was stupid. Like, I know that kids were accountable, and I know that a lot of kids did exactly what they were supposed to do. My son, however, was having a hard time trying to stay focused on getting the assignments and stuff done. So I was having to ride him about it, but again, the independence that they're trying to get these kids to gain and left me really with not much recourse. I mean, I had talked to the school, I had talked to some of the teachers in email, and then they didn't even really respond. Like, one teacher never ever responded, no matter what I wrote or what I questioned, or not even that I questioned her, but like, how can I help? What would you like me to do? Do I need to set him down inside, in front of me and make this thing happen? Because you guys have given them the Chromebooks, they got their own password to the Chromebook, they log in and they do their thing there. So all I got really is parent view. And if I can log into that and type up, that's what I do. Yeah, curfew gives the curfew on school nights, and I'm all hell, because that's what it's got to be. Like, for real, like, they don't understand themselves because, we were kind of the same way. You tried to slip past and be like, I stayed up till 11. I was slick, and 9 times out of 10 your parents knew. They were just like, yeah, okay, well, see how slick you are when you're sleepy this afternoon, I'm not going to let you take a nap. And you're going to start doing some chores or you do something. But it's so crazy because, like, everything has shifted. Like, these kids are not us. They don't think like us. No matter how much of what we thought we could instill in them, they are us in that aspect. Like, the way my son thinks sometimes. He thinks like I would think, or he thinks like his mom would think, and that's, I think, helps him, get through like a lot of really cool processes. Because this dude is like, when I go to do stuff, he's right there with me, changing the brake, freaking doing it himself. I mean, he's a beast, and I think to myself, okay, well, he really applies himself when he's helping me, when he's doing stuff. So it's like a, I don't know, maybe a win-win for us as parents then, if we just kind of like, okay, let him have the computer world, because that's just what they do. It is not what we did. We were on bikes and at the park and doing all those kind of things, and like, that's how I was. I was active. I was out in the world, you know what I'm saying? And these guys that, hey, go out in the sun, go do something with a friend, and then from there, that's it. That's what you get. That's what you got. Peace. I'm like, wow, really? It's like that? Like, okay. Well, I think ultimately the way they think versus the way we think is kind of a cool contrast, because like, I understand where they're coming from as far as like when they explain something to me or tell me, you know what I'm saying. However, I am not a boomer. Okay? Do you understand this? You would call my dad a boomer because that dude, he's no, stop. I'm just a dude who's chill. I laugh because Tristan be like, okay, boomer. I'm like, oh boy, shut up. Shut up, youngling. What's the response to that, Embryo? Be quiet, you young embryo. Silly dude. Like, you know nothing, because you're aging me, so I may as well take you backwards, right? But what I'm gonna do is take a quick break. Give me 1 moment. Thanks. Remember, you're watching Dadchop, where we chop it up, dad style.
I remember how I felt when each one of my babies was born. The amount of warmth and overwhelming love I felt was bar none. We as dads aren't always seen. So this is a global shout to all dads, dynamic, astronomical dudes. Being a parent is a privilege that we sometimes take for granted.
What's up, Dad?
D-A-D, that's the name of a man. I tip my hat to the many men. D-A-D, that's the name of a man. I tip my hat to the many men. D-A-D, that's the name of a man. I tip my hat to the many men. D-A-D, that's the name of a man. I tip my hat to the many men. D-A-D, I tip my hat to the.
We were part of your conception, our first connection. For 9 months after that, we too craved confections. Watching you grow was a real reflection on the love that we would get from our heart's collection. Gonna teach you lessons, give good impressions. We'll always keep you close so you won't have to be down. Anticipation and excitement now part of the game. So how real is it gonna be just to speak your name? We're bursting at the seams, we can't wait to meet you.
Word. Welcome back to Dadchop. Sorry. I had to go pick up some dog poop. See, dad duties don't ever end. Get it, duty? That's funny. But dad duties don't ever end. Not for me anyway, right? Right? Not for you either, I'm sure. So, with that thought rolling through my head, yeah, my Yorkie decided she needed to use the bathroom in the house. Don't understand why the littles keep doing that. Because they're silly. It's like, you go outside for an hour, you don't do anything, you run around playing. Is that all you're doing out there? Because, my God, like, do something, like use the bathroom. Hello? That's why you're outside. Oh, these dogs, I tell you. It's insanity. They're just as funny. They're the fur babies, right? So the fur babies do the same stuff as the big babies, and then all of a sudden that's what you got. And I'm just like, wow. The fur babiness in mine though is the spoiledness. They lay on whatever furniture they like. I do have a Chihuahua that's really teeny, and he doesn't really like to leave the areas he's in. So if you put him on the couch, he's going to stay there and dominate the whole couch. No other dog is really allowed to get up there unless it's the Yorkie, and that's because she's a girl and he likes her. And then he does like the bulldog. He follows her around, but put him on the floor for that activity. And then my big dog is he just does him. It's like he doesn't really worry about all the littles except for the bulldog. He likes to chase her because she's like the lady. So he hangs out with her quite a bit. But those are the fur babies, and they are funny. Just as funny as the big ones, the human ones that we have. My son thinks he's a complete comedian too, and it's crazy because the stuff that I didn't either get as a kid or wasn't privy to as a kid are like all the jokes and stuff he knows. Like you're on the phone, you're talking, you say something that maybe you and another grown individual should understand, and you hear a chuckle from behind you because your son got it too, and you're like, well, boy, you're not even supposed to understand what that meant. Why are you over there laughing? So, yeah, that's what can you do, man? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't know. You gotta rock with it. So, if you're here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below and leave a comment. This is Dadchop, where we chop it up dad style. So we're here to chop it up. I'm going to later here within the next week or two try to get the Zoom call thing going so we can get some visuals of a few other dads that are out here and be able to communicate that way too. And then I'll have some guests that you can actually see on the screen. So we'll make that happen here in the next couple of weeks as I have just basically learned this broadcasting software. This week, probably, if you watched any of the other two of the live recordings, that's what that was trying to get the audio right with the picture, making sure I wasn't doubling up in my voice and doing all those kind of things to try to get everything right. So what I'm hoping right now is that it's a single voice, everything is good, and we've done what we set out to do in learning everything for the last week. But this is great. This is a fantastic opportunity to build, to be able to talk to other parents, just share, period, whatever it is we decide we want to talk about, right? So that's what it is. That's what it's going to be. And I have to jump back on the NFL tip. Like, I am super excited for NFL football this season. And I'm going to tell you why. Every season, Dallas seems to come off like they're touting about everything they've acquisitioned. Oh, yeah, we got this, and Jerry did this and that. And I really don't dig that aspect of us because, like, I feel like the teams that win are kind of like the teams that kind of keep things under wraps. Like, they're not just exposing the whole team and making sure you understand. Like, you'll know who the number one wide receivers are, who the number one running back is. You know these things. You know who their favorite tight end is, or if they don't have really a favorite tight end because they're volleying between rookies or something like that. You know these things. You see these things. But Dallas was always so brash, and I felt like, how ridiculous. Thanks, B. Appreciate it, sir. Love you, man. So I just feel like Dallas is always like, oh yeah, that's what we did. So here's the thing. right now, Dallas, you notice, mouth has been shut. They haven't said anything. They've not really talked about, like they're talking about camp and, the basic things that they're doing and accomplishing as becoming a more cohesive team with some of these rookies and such with Dak, et cetera, et cetera. But the braggadociousness is deaded. And I love that because they're letting Dan Quinn get to work. We already got Michael Parsons, who's a beast. And all they're going to do is just take these other elements that they need. And so while everybody's looking at the draft and wigging out and going, Dallas really didn't grab anybody, they ain't really do anything special. They grabbed the pieces that Quinn needs. That's what we're not looking at. They grabbed whatever Dan Quinn needs. Whatever he wanted to put in there because he already was proof positive, proof in the pudding with Parsons. What are you going to say about that? Right? So, ultimately, I'm happy that their mouths are shut because that leaves me as a fan in a position where I feel like, okay, cool, we may be contingent this year because we might have picked up the right pieces, and since they're not blowing us up all over the place and doing that thing, then it's normal. It's just going to be regular football. And of course, I'm pretty sure, haters are going to hate. That's just what it is, right? But I'm amped up. I just want to see what we do. I want to see what the NFL does in general, man. There was a lot of big mix-ups and change-ups and movements going on. And I'm like, wow, that was beast, So I'm hoping that this is going to prove that, hey, we're out there, we see what y'all did, and we emulated. And that's Dallas. And then everybody else, I just want to see what they do because all those moves and all that stuff, man, I want to see how all that works out, man. What's Aaron Rodgers going to do this season, you know what I'm saying? Number one wide receiver. But like they say, he makes number one wide receivers because he's a good quarterback. So I figure he'll pick somebody out and that'll become his target. I think Tom Brady's still going to be Tom Brady. My thing with that dude is all you really got to do is take him off. Just get him put him down a few times on the ground, and he's usually done. Because then once you take him out of his game, then he's frazzled, and then you can beat that dude. But it takes that work. I feel like Michael Parsons could get that in though, because that kid's a beast, and then D-Law still gonna be there, so they're gonna have that friendly on the team competition. Maybe not be too friendly for the person that's getting tackled or sacked, but it'll be friendly competition between those two. That's great, man. It's gonna be a good season. I just want to see what everybody's gonna do. Loving the football. So, I don't know, any questions? Anybody out there aside from Man B? Anybody got a thing they want to ask about, talk about, or are y'all good? Are we all good right now? Well, shoot, man. I'm like, one of the things that I'm thinking about is my daughter's still moving out. Like I said, I gotta help out. I gotta help her get that done, and I'm just not super excited about that moment in my life, man. It's cause she's like, I'll go visit her, I'll go hang out, knock on the door, tell a joke, slide out, tell her about dinner. I don't know, just like she won't be there. It's like, oh man, it's nice and quiet, right? So I guess we'll see what that brings. That's about it, though. Well, I guess what I'm gonna say is we've been on for a little bit of time. It's been great to be here again. Hit the subscribe button below. Like us. Do the Dadchop thing with us. And let's do this, man. Let's do this together. Word. So, again, this has been Dad Chop, where we chop it up, dad style. Peace.
I remember how I felt when each one of my babies was born. The amount of warmth and overwhelming love I felt was bar none. We as dads aren't always seen. So this is a global shout to all dads, dynamic, astronomical dudes. Being a parent is a privilege that we sometimes take for granted.
What's up, Dad?
D-A-D, that's the name of a man. I tip my hat to the many names before me. D-A-D, that's the name of a man. I tip my hat to the many names before me. D-A-D, that's the name of a man. I tip my hat to the many names before me. D-A-D, that's the name of a man. I tip my hat to the many names before me. D-A-D, I tip my hat to the
We were part of your conception, our first connection. For 9 months after that, we too craved confections. Watching you grow was a real reflection on the love that we would give from our heart's collection. Gonna teach you lessons, give good impressions. We'll always keep you close so you won't have to be down